Hi friends! This is Dainty Tank. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back to Fatal 12. This is part 25. Oh my god, it's so long of a series, but I'm back from having pre-recorded stuff. Thank you for enjoying my content despite me not being here. Lesbians who tech. But essentially I was gone having time with the Dainty Wife and it was great. We had a great old time, and now I'm back. And you probably didn't notice much of anything because I already pre-recorded everything, so I wanted to make sure that you had all of this. But last we left off, Naomi's back. Oh my god, Naomi's back! And now it's getting real, because we're already down to the last 6. So if they want to be the last 2, there's a lot they need to do, and a lot that everybody already has. Everybody's name basically is revealed to everybody else. Everybody knows each other's names. It's not that now. Now it's down to death and regret. Regret being the hardest of them. So, let's get started. Boop. We're gonna load. Here we go. Naomi's alive. She's really alive. I still can't get over how happy I am. I saw her die right before my eyes, but here I am, able to see her alive and well once again. That's nothing short of a miracle. But at the same time, Yu's remorseful cries after I elected him have stuck with me. Those were his earnest feelings. I even experienced the scene of his death. Both of us died on the train, but the manner in which we passed differed. I've already made my decision, though. Those memories aren't enough to stop me now. I was about to say, if you die and you're eliminated, then everything is reversed, which means Naomi also gets burnt up in that train. That's a problem. I don't regret my decision. Good. Good. His life has served as a stepping stone. I need to propel myself forward. Oh, that's a rough one there, hun. Let's see here. Lionhouse will be back to business starting tomorrow. I've already gotten in contact with my gran about the logistics and sorted all the orders required. All I have to do now is to go to bed. But I keep futzing with my phone. Futzing? I want to talk to my gran for a bit. Mainly because I have nowhere else to funnel all the feelings I've experienced the past few weeks. She did tell me that's fine to spoil yourself once in a while, after she noticed how little I let myself cry in front of others. Aww. I should be able to get away with it, just for today. Aww. Yeah. We ended up talking a lot longer than anticipated. Well, it was mostly her, because she babbed on about when I was still a baby. It was a topic she only touched on briefly before, about the time I was born. Apparently, my parents passed away in a fire immediately after my birth. She doesn't remember much about what happened to herself by nature of both the shock and how busy she was at the time. No one remembers the actual time my mom gave birth to me. My dad probably would, but he's no longer here either. According to her, I was found crying in the smoldering ruins of the fire. Almost like I magically appeared out of the flames. Gran also doesn't remember when she came to learn my name. However, she does remember that my mom was the one to name me Rinka, as well as the meaning behind my name. That comes as quite a shock to me. Details of what happened were vague, but I was able to accept it, considering those who witnessed it were gone. I'm well aware of what it's like to spend your days and the days after a traumatic event. Fact! That's true. My memory lapse surrounding the events that led to becoming a participant in Divine Selection is proof of that. For my gran, this took place 16 years ago. It wouldn't be odd for something to trigger her memory, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no need for that to happen. I might have thought differently last month, but I'm not the same person as before. What makes you bring this up now? There's a noticeable pause. She's usually the type to give a quick and concise answer, so it's rare for this to happen. I hear her mulling it over for a moment before finally speaking up again. We then finish the conversation off with some small talk before hanging up. She was acting a bit strange. A person's life is a miracle in and of itself. Just want you to know that. That did nothing to answer the question. However, it does tell me that they probably are going after your gran. She doesn't normally talk like that either. This is the first time I heard her say such a thing. There's something about it, though. It set my heart ablaze. Aw. Good. Yay. Oh, God. Ah. Sorry, I had an alarm pop up. Anyway, dot. Huh, this is weird. I'm aware of what's going on in my dreams despite it not being Sunday. I've experienced this a number of times before. Yeah? I'm not in the court of fate either. It's almost like another side of the dream world entirely. It's not long before I hear a man's voice ring out. Hey there, been a while, or not. Perhaps I'm best off skipping the formalities. You've settled the score with your fate, but the road ahead will be an arduous one. It's up to you to forge your own path from the limitless possibilities out there. Doing so is nothing miraculous. Think of it as simply riding on the tracks of your life. I must admit that I'm finally finding myself interested in you humans. That willpower you all possess. How very unique. Oops. I shouldn't waste your time any longer. You're aware of what my presence in your dreams entails, I assume. It's time to unravel another layer of your memories. I feel my consciousness fade once again. His grating voice gradually fading into the distance as I fall deeper into the sea of my subconscious. Woo! Oh, God. Do we get to learn the baby thing? Why is this all coming up now? Flames envelop me. Flames powerful enough to flake the skin from my bones. My skin is charred, my lungs destroyed by the smoke. My life turns to ash. My inability to move, even my fingers, tells me as much. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Meh. 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 I'm sorry, this is a serious moment. I just can't help myself, especially since it's like, this is telling us that someone's yelling, but like, did it need to be this way? I hear someone shouting. They're shouting the same thing, over and over. The voice is eventually swallowed up by the roaring flames. My consciousness has dissipated by the time their voice fades completely. You were just like the phoenix, born from fire. Ah! Another morning where I wake up screaming. This time, it's due to a frightful dream. Meow. Lethe, I see you. I notice Lethe laying right on top of me as I think things over. Feels like this has happened before. I figure that the contents of my dreams are my dreams of a specific event. Memories of when I lost my life in the explosion of the train. No, you were strangled to death there. Memories of an event that had been undone. One that represented just a single possibility. Oh my God. Is there the possibility of her parents having been in a divine selection before? Whoa. Up until now, anyway. It's not 100% sure why. Perhaps the world underwent some changes after my recent actions. There's no clear answer for now, at least. Those weren't memories of what happened on the train. No. Which may mean they're memories of a much earlier time. It's possible that it came back to me after what my gran told me over the phone. Something doesn't quite fit, though. I understood what was happening in my dream. There's no way a newborn could be able to form such vivid memories. What in the world was it then? Meow. I'm still here. And probably the god. I ain't asking you, buddy. The only response I get is Lethe's meow. It throws my concentration off a bit. So I end up petting Lethe for a bit before going about my morning routine. Pet the cat, pet the cat, pet the cat. Here we go. Well, just you and me again today. Mao and I go to the rooftop during lunchtime. My dream woke me up pretty early, so I had enough time to make my own lunch. Meanwhile, Mao was eating a fruit sandwich and pan and strawberry milk to wash it all down. Whoa, that's a lot. A lot of fruit there, friends. I feel my heart clog just looking at that lineup. My sweet tooth's been itchy today, she says before she starts to munch away. Miharu didn't come to school today. I was a bit worried at first, considering this happened right after we had our little fight, but she did message me telling me not to worry. Granted, telling me that without explaining the situation is going to make me do the opposite. I know it's best if I stay put though. The last thing I want is to mess things up for her while she's dealing with Scale and Federico. Make plans to hit the library with Naomi after school. I wasn't sold on the idea when I first asked her, but I figure out school's old enough to have some potentially worthwhile information hidden somewhere. Of course, I've still got to work at Lion House as well, so the plan is to grab a number of books related to design and such and borrow them. Design and such. There you go, being all pensive again. Oops, sorry about that. I get started on my own lunch after Mao snaps me back to reality. I'm not accustomed to making my own lunch, but it's pretty good, all things considered. By NPR. Spending time like this, eating and chatting with Mao, helps me realize that I haven't lost my regular life yet. Hey, Rini? Mao cuts me off with small talk all of a sudden. Her tone grows far more reserved than normal. We were in the middle of a half-hearted discussing of shoujo manga, but I make sure to give her my full attention now. I'm not sure what you three are up to, and I ain't really concerned. Still hang out with me. The thing is, I can tell you've all been acting weird ever since the end of Golden Week. And our plans to hit up karaoke, go bowling, or even go to the movies or aquarium, they all kind of went poof. When did we agree to bowling in the aquarium? Oh, just thinking ahead, maybe? Always good to have a bunch of things you want to do. Mao hesitates before she continues. You know what? Forget about it. Kinda lost what my point was gonna be anyway. Yeah, okay. Both of us nod in agreement. Was she going to bring up the fact that, like, you guys are, like, a very weird love triangle? We see each other a good amount already, anyway. Following that, we return to our small talk. Shoujo manga, shoujo manga, shoujo manga. The discussion continues even after the bell rings, and we make our way back to class. Okay, good job, guys. Discussing your feelings like adults. Oh, back to the park. Having taken the day off from school, Miharu finds herself in one of Shinjuku's expansive parks. Here we go. It's a park near Lion House, a park dear to Rinka. Rinka isn't the one with her, though. Oh, so here we are. Sure don't feel like no final destination. When did you realize it referred to this place? Ain't no way I'd just up and realize it. Had to do some research, although it didn't take much. Clock towers like that ain't too common in this country. Sorry, maybe that was a silly question. Even you would struggle to connect the dots in a foreign country based on intuition alone. Oh, God. What is going on? I love this. I love this. But Miharu and Odette set their eyes on the clock tower in the distance as they talk. Neither bothers to sit down. A situation that would come as no surprise to those who know Odette well enough. Miharu was making her way to school, as always when Odette showed up all of a sudden. All that followed was a simple request for Miharu to come with her before dragging her along by force. While that made it obvious how she must have treated Federico, Miharu still finds herself on edge. Her unwariness would prove meaningless, though. Odette just wanted to visit an art gallery. Miharu figured that denying her proposition would require too much effort, so she opted to join her. They didn't go for standard displays, though. Their sights were set on a seasonal art exhibition. It focused on easily one of the most famed artists of all time, Van Gogh. Aha, poor depressed Van Gogh. Miharu isn't too familiar with the arts. She subscribes to the belief that expanding one's knowledge should take precedence over expanding others' creations. Ooh. This school of thought clearly didn't apply to Odette. There was a look of nostalgia in her eyes. She was taking in his works. It was complete contrast to her hearty self. While born in Holland, Van Gogh spent most of his days in France. Many of his paintings used France as their motif too. Miharu wasn't convinced that the look in Odette's eyes was fueled solely by memories of her homeland, though. Odette eventually stopped in front of a painting of a farm village titled The Harvest. She spent over 30 minutes staring at it. It was almost as if she had lost herself in the painting. 30 minutes? Ooh. Miharu made no attempt to speak to her during that time. She had every opportunity to leave, but she never took it. She never was able to figure out what Odette was thinking. However, that moment made Odette feel truly human to her. It was the same sensation as when she learned the compassion she showed to Sonia. Bet you weren't expecting to see me like that. No kidding. The extent of your knowledge is no secret by this point. But I figured you'd the type to snub the arts. Who knew you'd stare at paintings with the look of an entranced child? Damn right I am. Ain't no one gonna focus on the present in the face of true art. That casts her eyes to the sky as she speaks. Ah. Gentle breeze floats past us, bringing with it a murder of crows. Odette's choice of words leads Miharu to a certain idea. You must be aware that we're closing in on your regret, right? Don't tell me you called me out because of that. Yep, hit the nail on the head, kid. Chances are Federico's gonna figure out my cause of death soon too. So you came to me because I'm the easiest to discuss things with. Wait, negotiation isn't your tactic you'd use. Miharu fires a glare at Odette. She's on high alert now. At the same time, her alarm serves to trigger her nerves. Relax, I ain't planning on doing anything to you. Divine selection's just a big game to me in the end. If I win, I live. If I lose, I kick the bucket. If the road's gonna come to an end, then all I gotta do is enjoy it till then. Fairly sure the people you eliminated never saw it that way. Safia, in particular. Then again, I don't have much of a right to say that myself. Miharu trails off, shaking her head. Odette and Federico may have been the ones who led Safia to her elimination, but it was Miharu who ultimately carried it out. Her reasoning, however important it may be to her, will never change that fact. Don't you want to live? Sure as hell do. The most exciting stuff there is left to do, the better. Here's the thing. My regret ain't something I'll ever be able to achieve, so I ain't got no issue with dying. Life itself's been something of a game for me anyway. In fact, you can't change shit, no matter how much you level up. No matter how much you level up. Oh my god. Odette. So my feeling that something was off proved correct. Your body is... Don't worry. I'll talk. Consider it a freebie. place I was born resembles the village in Van Gogh's The Harvest. It was a big old countryside, stuck away in the past. Whoa! That shares the story of her past with Miharu. What? Miharu takes it all in. There's no hint of sentimentalism as Odette reveals her past and regret. In fact, it sounds the same as if she were telling an inconsequential story. Miharu finds herself unable to say anything for a while, even after Odette finishes. There is no easy way to sum up what she just heard. As a fellow woman, harsh doesn't begin to describe it. I think I've lost the right to berate Rinka now. First thing to emerge is criticism toward herself. It lets out a hearty laugh when she hears that. Feeling sympathetic, are we? No, I just don't quite know what to say to you. Odette's complete lack of emotion toward her own past strikes fear in the heart of Miharu. She shows no sign of either sadness or anger. Odette is a broken soul. That's how Miharu feels. The reality of her regret would elude her for her entire life, likely took its own toll on Odette for a long, long period of time. Why did you share this with me? Because you've got the right idea about what it takes to be strong. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Miharu gives up trying to follow Odette. The concept of enjoying oneself holds more meaning than is imaginable. Miharu understands that much. She gets the hidden meaning behind doing what one can to enjoy the present. That's why she can't figure Odette out. Just so you know, you're gonna be Scale's target during the next style action. Woohoo! Fun! I reckon he knows you and Rinka are still buddy-buddy, but he's letting you off the hook for now. The 8th round will probably involve Federico electing me and Scale electing you. He'll be able to achieve his goal by getting Alan's cause of death card from you after that. He's basically already done with you. Excuse me? Miharu fails to hide her surprise at Odette's sudden claim. Not over the idea that Scale is done with her, though. I know he's in possession of my regret card already, but when did he get a hold of my cause of death? That cunning... Hold on. Ah! Sorry. I'm trying to get back. Here we go. Maybe I read that wrong. I know he's in possession. Oh, it's Miharu. God. I know he's in possession of my regret card already. But when did he get a hold of my cause of death? That cunning of yours backfired. The fact that you always kept those wrists of yours hidden answers your own question, I'd say. No way. Miharu rubs her wrist on reflex. Whenever Miharu wore long sleeves, they assumed to be intentionally longer than usual, and when with short sleeves, she wore gloves. And that she does so to keep her wrists concealed even when stretching out her arms. Oh, wow. I never noticed that. In cases in which one might be able to peek, she would use her bag, card book, and even her other hand to keep them concealed. Ain't unusual for kids in poverty to slip their wrists. Take that, plus a quick background check, and it's easy to figure out your cause of death. Even more so for a guy like Scale. They let you wear long gloves at that whatever cafe where you work at, don't they? It's pretty rare for restaurants. He even took time to pay you a visit there to confirm his suspicions. It's a bit frightening just how much you know. Ain't gotta take that from a girl who figured out my regret from a minor decision I made. I don't get it. Why tell me all this? I assumed you'd find some fun in knowing that the person responsible for your elimination would get a taste of their own medicine. Come on, just watching you realize that others have seen through your weakness does the trick for me. Scales keen when it comes to other people's weaknesses, which is why he's so good at gathering intel. You're kinda similar to him, but fundamentally different. Let me say this loud and clear. I love you, kid. I mean that romantically. What? What? That ability of yours to zoom in on the weak side of others made me fall for you. Granted, I'd been interested ever since you beat me to the punch during the 4th round. What? What? Hold on. What? Okay, oh my god. This is a lot. Doubt I need to explain why I'd want someone like that to live now, do I? Where did that come from? I'd much rather you not toy with me. Miharu loses her composure due to Odette's sudden confession. She pouts a tad, averting her eyes from Odette, who continues after that. I ain't joking. Me and you, we're both weak. Weak people are always gonna attract one another. Besides, I swing both ways. So long as the face and body do the job, I'm down. Guess you could say me and Federico are similar in that regard. Okay. I'm sorry, but I can't accept your feelings, assuming you're actually serious. Rinka's the only one my heart has room for. One-sided love's just another sign of being weak. Though I gotta tell ya, that girl probably ain't into what you're looking for. Please, I'm not looking for anything. I know. Odette follows her sarcasm up with a serious expression. The sudden switch frightens Miharu a bit, but she takes every effort to show her own fortitude in the face of it. Don't make the girl you love sad. You get what I mean, don't you? Painfully so. Miharu nods while answering. She made the decision to offer her life for Rinka's sake, yet she knows that decision will not result in Rinka's happiness. Just letting that Federico dumbass elect me ain't no fun, though. Wanna help me out a little in exchange for turning me down so fast? Odette explains her plan without waiting for a response. While the idea takes Miharu by surprise, she nods in agreement. Atta girl, knew I could count on you. Of course you can. Aight, better not see you in hell. Better not see you in hell, you hear me? Love it. Don't worry, the only place I'll end up is at Rika's side. Ha! Making me jealous over here? Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Adieu. Leaving Miharu with those last final words, Odette walks off. Miharu collapses onto a nearby bench in an effort to calm herself down. Once she settles down, she remains there until sunset. Odette's comments about weakness leave her deep in thought. This is a lot of awesome. The day after, when school has ended, Miharu calls Naomi to the rooftop. Ooh, they face one another under a cloudy sky, from which it seems rain will pour any minute. Not only is it rare for Miharu to call on Naomi, but Naomi also has nothing but mad memories of speaking to Miharu alone. Miharu! Do you need something from me? Naomi poses her question to Miharu, who remains silent. I remember what I said to you before we all went to the theme park outside of Lionhouse, so I can't blame you for actively avoiding me. I wasn't trying to. No, that's not true. I was avoiding you. Oh, flashback. I still can't even process that Odette loves Miharu. Like, that was so intense. Okay, going back to Miharu. This is all like exposition now. The event Miharu refers to took place on May 5th, the day following the conjuncture of causality. The day all 12 participants' deaths were undone. Miharu had made her way to Linehouse in order to see Rinka. Doing so would allow her to reaffirm that she's truly alive, while also giving her the opportunity to remind Rinka about going to the theme park. Miharu had prepped herself to delve into details of divine selection once they had gone. Not long after leaving the lighthouse, she came across Naomi. "Oh, hello!" Naomi spoke to Miharu without thinking twice. Miharu, on the other hand, remained silent after turning to face her. Tell me, do you like Rinka?" "Ooh. Well, I really look up to her and think she's a great upperclassman, but is that all? If so, then please stop trying to steal her away from me." "Steal her away?" "I love Rinka, not as a friend, but as a woman." Woo! Very clear. Very to the point, Miharu. Miharu promptly took her leave following that exchange. "I love her, not as a friend, but as a woman." Whoosh! And then she's off. Naomi would end up making her way into Lionhouse afterwards, full of nothing but frustration. Wow! Wow! I understand why you acted like that now. You had already become a participant in Divine Selection, hadn't you? I can't get upset knowing that. My feelings aren't shallow enough that you would understand them. Whoa, that's a burn, honey. Miharu puts a wall between herself and Naomi as the latter attempts to get closer. She quickly realizes it's the two, covering her mouth with her eyes, with her hands as a sign of remorse. It's no secret that I don't like you. Your personality aside, you kept taking time I could spend with Rinka from me. Okay. Miharu's words are as blunt as they come. Naomi can only direct her gaze toward the floor. Not simply by virtue of Miharu being her senior, this is the first time anyone has outright stated their disdain for her. It was just me, Rinka, and Mao during the first year here. Mao knew I was in love with Rinka too, so she made sure to give us space whenever possible. Then you appeared. You used your position as Rinka's underclassman and that innocent personality of yours to draw her attention. That's not true at all! You knew my feelings for her, but you couldn't care less. In fact, you even used Divine Selection as a means to get closer to her. I tried to keep my distance precisely because I knew your feelings, but Rinka kept insisting that I join. You became someone truly important to her, though. I was left by the wayside. Naomi finds herself asking why she has to put up with this. It's a fact. Even so, she isn't the type to grow angry and argue back. All she can do is attempt to make Miharu realize she is misunderstanding things. Is that the reason you called me up here? If so, what do you expect me to do? The clouds looming overhead cast their shadows down, thicker and darker than before. The humidity in the air is almost crushing. I don't want you to do anything. Just stay the way you are. But I'd rather do something if my presence is upsetting you. The thing about my dislike for you is that it's only outmatched for my dislike for myself. I'm far too jealous and nasty. The more I realize that I take after my awful parents, the more I find myself wishing I was dead. Whoa, Miharu! Miharu speaks coldly, taking off her glove of her left hand and shows her wrist to Naomi. Oh, a number of scars are visible. None seem recent, but the implication is clear. This should make my cause of death obvious. It was no accident that I died. I chose that path for myself, and thus I shouldn't have the right to live. But you do. You have the right. It's never okay to take your own life. It's not. If you ever need help, I always link to the Trevor Project down below. They're always there to reach out to you if you need anything. You are so precious and wonderful. You can't. It's not fair for everybody. We all love you. Stay here. Miharu. She then immediately puts her glove back on. All that follows is a self-pitying smile toward Naomi. I may be a terrible person. My death would only upset Rinka. I can't allow that. never too comfortable around you, and I doubt that will change, but even so, I would be sad if you died too. Just the idea of that happening scares me. I doubt I even need to say how sad Mal would be. So tell me, who is targeting you? Oh! Naomi's question takes Miharu by surprise. However, it helps to put everything into perspective. It is doubtless that Naomi has spent every passing moment thinking about the divine selection, all for Rinka's sake. This is precisely why Naomi could zone in on what Miharu wanted to get across with this conversation. You told me all of this because you know Rinka will do everything she can to protect you, didn't you? It's numeral 9, Scale Jones. I know both his name and his cause of death. Miharu gives Naomi a brief rundown of what Odette told her. Naomi listens fervently, showing no concern over the fact that Miharu has just made her dislike for her clear. It is obvious that what she wants. Miharu will search on her own as much as possible, but she also wants Naomi's assistance. Things might work out better than you think. Rinka already has number 9's regard card in her possession. Really? Really? It says gold medal. But card can't materialize just by hearing that, right? It's all you need. It's as you say. Don't worry though. I've met him personally, so knowing that should be enough. The clouds begin to part as the blue sky brightens the land once more. Miharu's face is lit up by rays of sunlight. Thank you, Naomi. You're far stronger than most would give you credit for. That said, Miharu makes her way inside. Naomi's surprise of a turn of events leaves her unable to follow suit for a moment. Yeah, that was a lot. Oh my god. We're going to pause here because this is going to be a lot. Especially since things just accelerated. Oh my god. But I am absolutely stunned by all of this. Odette's confession, everything about this, it all just is a lot, and I love it so much. I want to make sure that I'm very clear here. If you need help at all, please reach out to the Trevor Project. It's so important for all of us to be supported, and we're all here for you. So please, reach out. Don't self-harm. Don't undead. We care. With that, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for your time today. I hope that you're enjoying this series. I hope you can tell me your favorite thing about all of this. And oh my god, Odette's reaction. With that, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!